How concerning is the Montreal Canadiens' goaltending? The answer is dependent on who you ask, I guess. But this article on dailyfaceoff.com is a good introduction as to what's been going on. Kyle Morton published this transcript as to a conversation held between Tyler Yaremchuk and NHL video coach Steve Peters on Monday's episode of Daily Faceoff Live. Tyler Yaremchuk said, "Speaking of goaltending, Petey, I want to throw you another one. The Montreal Canadiens. Listen, they're pretty firmly in the playoff mix right now. They aren't going to have to do the thing they did a year ago and have a miraculous second half of the year to get into the playoffs. But they've been winning these games in spite of their goaltending. And Samuel Montembeault is going through another tough stretch right now, with 12 goals against in his last 3 starts. Scale 1 to 10, how concerned should the Canadiens be with their goaltending?" Steve Peters says it's high. It's gotta be at least an 8 out of 10. And Sam Montembeault? Last season, the tear that he went on last year, this year, he's given up 3 or more in 5 of 6 and 7 of 9. He's only had above a .900 save percentage in 7 of 22 games. Ironically enough, Montreal's giving up fewer shots, almost 3 shots a game fewer than they did a season ago. You would expect that number to get better, but this team is 24th in goals against average. Dobesh started off hot, and he's fallen off. To expand on the conversation, let's go over to some tweets. Jacob Fowler was sent down on January 16th. Montreal Canadiens goalie stats since then, 2-2-0, 3.82 goals against, and an .831 save percentage. Was sending Fowler down the right move? Here's a tweet from Jimmy Murphy from 3 days ago. Jacob Fowler back in the NHL by Monday? You have to seriously consider this if you are the Montreal Canadiens. Now, of course, Jimmy Murphy is a primary Boston beat reporter. He was reporting this during the Canadiens and the Bruins game. And for what it's worth, you also had this post made by BPM Sports Radio on their Twitter account. Do you want to see Jacob Fowler recalled by the Habs? This post was made yesterday to open up the week, and 52.4% of Canadiens fans say no. Now, there is a very big discussion to have on goaltending numbers, and you can say that a guy like Sammy Montembeault has definitely had a difficult time pulling his weight the last few games. Just take a look at the sample over here. .810 save percentage against Boston, .813 against Buffalo, .853 against Ottawa. 2 900-plus games against Washington and Florida, but 800s in Dallas, and then 700s in Tampa Bay. It's not great overall for Sammy Montembeault, this recent little stretch, and now you are starting to see posts made on the RHAB subreddit saying, for example, this: Monty is not it. We can't be thinking of any playoff aspirations with a goalie that consistently allows bad goals every game. He is barely playing above 500 while having some of the best support in front of him. For crying out loud, Montembeault was just above .850 and close to 4 goals against. Unacceptable. So far, he has lost us at least 6 games out of 20 starts, while having stolen 0 games. I'd rather roll the dice with Jacob Fowler at this point. Top comment goes out there and says, yeah, you gotta save the difficult ones too. That's the gig. You can't be wasting a hat trick from Cole Caulfield on a loss like that. Darn. Another reply says Jacob Fowler had a .900. It's a huge difference than an .871. It's a bigger difference from Monty and Fowler than Fowler and Price's best season. Okay, that is quite the hyperbole, I would say. But for what it's worth, you did have some other folks going out there saying things like this. Hey, can we stop with the anti-Montembeault Reddit threads? Yes, he is playing poorly. Yes, the Canadiens need better. Yes, he knows it. And yes, he is a Hab. Stop crapping on your own team when they're down. I guarantee you no one knows more than Sammy how bad he is playing. Pick up your teammates when they're down. 30 threads crapping on him is amateur work and not the work of a true fan. It seems every post within the past 24 hours has been about Samuel Montembeault, lol. Another reply says, I'm so ashamed of the people on this subreddit. It's just doomerism and bashing of anyone and everyone. It's a young team in a rebuild. Chill out. There are going to be bumps in the road. Not like we were expected to win the cup or anything this year. And then you also have this rationalization of the situation posted by Truly Ryan. The anti-Monty threads would stop if people woke up to the fact that he was a waiver pickup, and the only reason he ever started for Montreal was because they had no other option. Once this realization is made, it really puts his overall performance into perspective. He has been a bigger contributor to their losses than he has been a contributor to their victories. He is a liability, and the insistence that he somehow deserves to be the starting goalie for Montreal has proven to be detrimental to the team's success. Trying to force Monty into being a starter-caliber goalie isn't going to work. The Monty experience has already cost the Canadiens points and has been detrimental to the development of their other goalies. Bringing these points forward isn't quote-unquote anti-Monty, and anybody who thinks that is softer than the goals Monty lets in on a nightly basis. And another fan went out there and said, hey, this is like 2009, 2010 all over again. Anyone who was on forums back then will remember the discourse over Price and Halak and how it took over everything, and it was almost like faction warfare. Now it's simply Montembeault and is he good or not? I'm not going to debate that one way or the other, but just like when Halak was traded, I cannot wait until one of three things happen with Monty. Either A, he rebounds and Canadiens fans are happy, the goaltending sorts itself out another way and they're all happy, or the end of next season and he is not re-signed. Personally, I'm hoping for the first two options because another year and a half of Monty gang warfare is mental burnout. You also had this stat posted out there by Max Lapierre. It's an interesting stat. Out of the 25 games the Montreal Canadiens have had where they were leading with Monty in net, he has lost 21 of those games. Samuel Montembeault cannot hold on to leads. It's a very bad stat. Now, for what it's worth, you did have Montembeault go out there and defend himself. This is what he had said against Buffalo and even on the other goals against Boston. Those are goals I can't do much about. You shouldn't look too much at the stats. I'm continuing to work. He also had Brendan Gallagher taking responsibility and deflecting some of the blame away from Monty. I can recall 2 or 3 really good saves that Monty made on the penalty kill. It's different if you win or lose a game, obviously, right? It's everyone. Everyone would like one play back, 2 plays back throughout the course of a game. There's definitely no finger pointing, Gallagher said. It's not one person, one thing, it's everyone as a collective. So with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Is this as concerning as we are making it out to be? Sammy Montembeault and his lack of clutch and game-winning ability. Is this a problem the Canadiens are going to have to face by calling up a guy like Fowler? Or do you just ride it out and hope that Montembeault comes back to what he was doing last year? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this Swedish Ash Roll 99. And bye.